Are you a dreamer? Are you dreaming big? Do you have these goals and these visions and these thoughts and these wishes and wants in your life for where you'd like to be in maybe a year or a couple of months or 2 years or 10 years or 5 years or 20 years? Do you have some general idea of where you want your life to be and what do you want it to look like? And do you sit and daydream about what you want life to be for you? What is success? What are those things you desire out of life? What do you wish you had that you don't have? What kind of impact do you want to make that you're not currently making? Where do you want to be in life? What do you want to see? Do you want to travel? Do you want to go places? Do you want to meet people that you haven't met yet? Do you want to mingle with people that are above your social standard? Where are you at? Are you dreaming in life? Well, that's a great place to start. You want to dream. Dreaming is so important. You know, they say that our cognitive ability to dream, our ability to control our thoughts, our ability to imagine and create out of our imagination is the greatest ability that man has that sets him apart from the rest of creation. That is that thing that God has put in us and given us the ability to have dominion over our thoughts, the ability to dream, the ability to imagine, and then the ability to pursue those imaginations. But you see, that's what we should focus on as human beings, right? That's our privilege, to use that highest function of our brains to imagine and to dream and to create out of our mind. And yet you don't want to just be a dreamer. Dreaming is great, but you don't want to just be a wisher and a wanter. You have to learn to turn those dreams into goals, into action. You don't want to be a wisher and a wanter. You want to be a doer. So if you just have these dreams that you've created in your mind, but you're not taking active steps towards them, what good is it? What that actually does is leaves you in a state of discontentment because you have these longings, these urges, these desires that you're never going to go after, you're never going to chase, and you're never going to put effort into. And if you don't put effort into them, they just remain these things that we idolize and can never get. And yet if you can take your dreams and you can turn them into goals instead of wishes and wants, you can actually achieve them. You can begin to push your life towards your imaginative ideals that you've created for yourself in your life. What we want to do is turn our dreams into goals and action steps instead of just wishes and wants. And there's a very clear difference between wishes and wants and goals and actions. I'm sure you would agree with me that when you can create a beautiful picture in your mind of what you would like your life to look like, it's a lot better to chase that and to run after it with all of your effort than to just sit back and want it. So the way we do that is we create that picture and we take what we've created and we clearly define it. We write it out in detail. We know then what it is that we're actually desiring in life. We know what we actually want to put effort towards, or what maybe is just some fun dream that we're never going to go after. You have to define for yourself what is worth chasing in life. What are the dreams that I've created that I truly do want in my life? And there you can put your longing, there you can put your desire. But back of that longing and desire, you must have action. And so you break that down, that definition that you've created of your ideal life. And now you break it into goals. You break it into things that you can actually achieve. Now, goals can be huge. They can seem like they may be out of your reach, and that is great to create goals that are out of your reach. But what you have to do then is break those goals down into their smallest parts that we call action steps. And so even if a dream is, or a goal is completely out of your reach and you have no idea how you're ever going to get that in your life, it still is achievable if it's worth it to you. You have to learn to put action into that dream, into that goal, and you have to learn how to actually take that first step. So you may not have any idea how you're ever going to get these idealized things in your life, and that's okay, and that's how we should. We shouldn't know exactly how we're going to get what we want out of life, because otherwise we may not be dreaming big enough. But we do know the first step we can take towards attaining something that's different than what we currently have. And so you break those giant dreams and goals down into smaller and smaller and smaller milestones and action steps until you finally have one step, even one step that you can take towards the achievement of those dreams and those goals. Now all of a sudden you've taken your dreams, and instead of having them be wants and wishes and things that we're going to long for but never pursue, you've created action towards it. You've created something that you can actually achieve, that you might actually get out of life if you want it bad enough. And so you take that first step, that first action step that you've defined for yourself, that you know you can take. And guess what? That leads you farther down your path. In any situation, we only have a perspective that goes so far. We can only perceive so much of life, so much of our future, so much of our journey or our route. But the beauty is that every step that we take, our perspective stays the same. Our being able to visualize what's down the road stays the same distance away from us. So we take one step forward, but our perception advances one step as well. And so now all of a sudden you see farther down the path than you did before. So you may not have had any idea how to achieve your goal at one point, but you've taken 5 steps now that you did know you could take. And all of a sudden you've gained new knowledge, you've gained new perspective, and you can see 5 more steps towards attaining that goal in your life. And so now you have a couple more steps that you can take, and if you continue down that path and you continue to put action back of those action steps, back of those goals that are broken down into the smallest achievable pieces, and you continue to take action towards that and move forward, you eventually discover the entire path to those goals, to that ideal life that you have created for yourself. So are you dreaming? Are you imagining, and are you idealizing your life and creating something better than what you currently have in your mind first and foremost? But the challenge is, are you leaving them as wants and wishes? Are you a wanter and a wisher that will never chase those dreams and goals? Or are you someone who's going to go after those dreams and goals with action, with purpose, with effort? And now you've moved them from wants and wishes, and you've moved from being a wanter and a wisher to a doer. And all the while you need to be putting prayer back of that. You need to be putting faith back of that. Because we can put effort into anything that we go down in life, and we can strive so hard for that, but ultimately it's God that gives the miracle of life and orchestrates things behind the scenes, right? And so we have our effort, we have our action, we have our purpose, we have our plan, we have our journey laid out before us. But we have to make sure that we're putting faith behind that. We have to make sure that we're asking God to create that miracle of life behind the action and the work that we do. And that gets us so much farther down those roads than if we're just working and keeping our face down and working super hard. So I want to encourage you to dream big, to create and to imagine and to idealize in your life. But make sure that you take them from wants and wishes and turn them into goals and actions.